And joining us now in the news tonight is the Rights News analyst, Barrister Frank Tietie. Of course, Barrister, thank you so much for being here. A couple of days ago, you and I had a conversation with regards to the happenings in the Labour Party, especially with Apapa, you know, asking the lawyers in all tribunals to reach out to him, giving them that 48 hours. And today now listening to the candidate of the party in Rivers State saying, you know what, her legal counsel have been asked to withdraw from the case. What do you make of all of this going on in the Labour Party?
It's important that the determination be made who controls the Labour Party at this time, according to law, not according to opinion or preference of any individual. If the legal position, if the matter of fact is that Lamidi Apapa, as Deputy National Chairman of the Labour Party, is actually in charge as a result of the suspension of Julius Abure as National Chairman, acting anyway, if there is nothing to the contrary, sadly...
Well, there is something to the contrary, unfortunately, because the Labour Party, on their own part, insists that Lamidi Apapa, alongside other executives, were suspended in April, and others were actually appointed to act in their positions in acting capacity.
It's important that the authorities, in this case, especially the Independent National Electoral Commission, has that understanding. But if, as we speak, the acting national chairman of the Labour Party is Lamidi Apapa, whatever he does or says will affect the party, because that is a matter of fact and law. So that is an important determination to make. But Apapa wouldn't be this confident and this expressive if he doesn't seem to be standing on a very firm foundation to make that kind of, order, directing that park council to the political party, hand over the briefs that they have received concerning the Labour Party. That is a very dangerous dimension, given the fact that Julius Abure has not been equivocal about the fact that these are paid agents who have been contracted to destabilize the Labour Party to the extent that they have successfully ensured that he has been suspended, and now they are making brazen effort to actually take over Labour Party cases, and the expectation in ultimate analysis is that they will simply just say the presidential in the presidential panel, election tribunal panel, with regarding the Labour Party, they will withdraw their petition, not the petition of the candidate. But that has very, very grave implications for the fortunes of the candidate.
Frank, see, the matter has been adjourned to May 19, Friday, May 19, for further deliberations, okay? But then, let's look at the internal politics of the Labour Party. How better can they manage their internal politics to avoid situations where they'll be calling for one another's heads?
It's a normal thing. The political parties that that possess that kind of heartbeat, whether it was a PDP or APC, and now the Labour Party, at every point in their progression, often face this leadership crisis. And every national party chairman should understand that while he is so busy with national affairs, he should realize that there are a lot of banana peels waiting for him. It has happened to Uche Secondus, it has happened to Adams Oshemole. So you just find that some small disgruntled elements at the ward level that have often appeared insignificant to a party chairman can cause a sort of wreckage to this extent. Now, it's plain to all Nigerians that Julius Abure has been a very hard-working National Party chairman who has worked assiduously to ensure that the fortunes of the Labour Party are actually actualized. But to think that from nowhere, particularly from his Edo State base, that he's been hounded to the extent that giving somewhat credence to the accusations that have been leveled against him, to the extent that they've given potent bullets to the court to actually suspend him, which is very dangerous, because if it had been a final decision of the court, you could say you're going on appeal, you could say you stay in execution, but as we speak, Julius Abure is fighting from the rear. He has been suspended, and persons like Lamidi Apapa are now laying claims to the control of the party. the danger here is Lamidi Apapa appears to be on a Hatchet mission to destabilize the party and take over all its cases, and then making the All Progressive Congress and other parties that have won to be quite...
Who sent him on that mission?
We can't say, because what Julius Abure is saying in the media is pointing accusing fingers directly at the All Progressive Congress, that they are, but that's not that's not substantiated. At what point did the APC give money to any of the parties or to cause such kind of havoc? The truth about it is that he's gone the same way as Uche Secondus and Adam Soshomele when they were party chairmen. They didn't take care of the people back home. And again, with an ideologue like Peter Obi leading being the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and with the kind of movement that the obedience caused across the entire world, one would think that they should have been very circumspect in the way they participated in their party politics. Exactly. But as we speak, we see some unknown elements taking over their fortunes, and then nothing. They are known because we don't know the folks in those states who just gathered and said that Julius Abure has been suspended as National Party chairman.
This is not synonymous to the Labour Party. Let's not forget the PDP national chairman, Iyoche Ayu, equally is suspended because of, same thing from the local government level. But at the end of the day, this is the reality of the Nigerian politics as we're looking at it today. But the Labour Party, you have highlighted, well, they did well. Coming out of nowhere and coming third in the elections, one would have thought, they'll put their house in order, especially since they are at the tribunal. But here we are facing what it is today. So I ask you again, looking at from the legal perspective, you say Apapa is in charge of the party. Do you envisage a way where they will be able to broker some sort of truce amongst, both factions for the interest of the party, which, by the way, sponsors a candidate, because the candidate has no stands in the petition or wherever in the court without...
Again, let me limit myself to your question anyway, because that's a conundrum, but I can quickly, allude to Section 133 of the Electoral Act. There are persons who have legitimate right to contest, to file a petition against any election. That is a candidate and the political party. But I wonder what a candidate would be standing to contest in a petition when his own party is saying he was withdrawing, and also saying that filing affidavits or to attest to the regularity of the election or the compliance of the election, so to speak, and wishing to and then sending out congratulatory messages to the party who has won. So the fortunes of that candidate will not be much. But I'll go back to your question where you said, is there any sort of hope that there will be a truce, there will be an agreement with this kind of body language, with this kind of expression that Lamidi Apapa has made, with this kind of directive? The first thing he does is to ask all the election petition, lawyers handling all the election petitions for Labour Party to brief him, and then he limits it to a very unrealistic timeline of 48 hours. And then the next thing you see his lawyers writing letters to take over the cases. You don't expect any kind of truce in that situation.
So what is the way forward for the Labour Party? The
Labour Party is in a deep crisis as we speak. And if there is nothing, and I emphasize, there's nothing to the contrary, as a matter of fact and law, that limits Apapa from this mission that is on, then the Labour Party might just be headed for some doomsday.
Now, in crisis management, doomsday, you say, we know that consultation has to come before confrontation in crisis management. How better can the Labour Party, and indeed any other party for that matter, but in focus is the Labour Party, how better can that party manage its crisis?
Do you listen to the vitriol among them? Even in the way the woman in River State, the candidate in River State, referred to one common fellow Apapa. Who is he? And the man is there listening. Do you sometimes listen to Kenneth Okonkwo, the way he carries on, the way he addresses certain individuals in his own party? So we have yet to come to a situation where we regard when we regard party politics as a matter of national interest, common interest. politics, until we redefine politics beyond that, that pawning, that small interest that they pursue as individuals, we'll continue to have problems with our parties. Now, we as a country will be losing a lot if Labour Party goes into crisis that it may never recover from. Because, as a matter of fact, let us acknowledge that the resurrection of Labour Party from the doldrums was as a result of the towering personality of Peter Obi. And so, if Peter Obi cannot take responsibility at this time to say he is going to resolve the crisis, if he's not respected enough by these elements, particularly the ones who are giving these strange directives that are contrary to his interests, then who else will save the Labour Party?
So you're suggesting that vested interest is what eaten deep into the unity of the party?
Exactly. And again, there's no doubt about the fact that they were intervening forces that are external to it. I think Julius Abure may just be right. Unfortunately, he appears helpless. He's just shouting that he will go on appeal, as if he goes on appeal, he will be reinstated. No, he is fighting from the outside. Right now, he's suspended. There's nothing he can do. So the expectation is that if Lamidi Apapa is not stopped, he might just be on a wreckage mission, and God help the Labour Party.
God help the Labour Party. Good place to actually drop the anchor tonight. Well, Lamidi Apapa says, no one is sponsoring him, but of course we wait for the courts to decide. Barrister Frank Tietie, Arise News analyst, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for coming tonight.